Alright, so quickly before we start, I want you to know that these geology maps are not always 100% accurate, and sometimes they leave out areas that may have chert and flint, and sometimes they put areas down that the chert or flint is more incidental and not occurring as part of the bedrock, but may just be brought there by rivers or those kind of things. So without further ado, we'll start in Texas here. And in Texas, you can see that most of the chert and flint is around this ridge right here, and it goes right through San Antonio. And I know I lived in Texas, actually in Corpus Christi and Tyler-Lindale, and I'd make the drive up to San Antonio to get some really good chert. So you generally have to go up there because that's where the sediment is Cretaceous. You can find chert all along landscaping areas and stuff in South Texas, but the rock there in the streams and that sort of stuff generally is not the correct age to have flint or chert. And if it is flint and chert in those streams, they were brought from further north, just over thousands of years of carrying these rocks south. But yes, this is where the flint and chert is coming from, is those areas in Texas. Now, if we go to Alabama, we can see that Alabama is covered in multiple different ages of chert, has a lot of chert. I'm not really going to get too deep into it, but next we have the northeast. We have Virginia, we have Pennsylvania, New York. You can see that the Appalachian Mountains are where all the chert is being quarried from or is coming from. So around those areas, you want to find streams that are connected to the mountains that may have chert deposits in it, and do a little bit more research on that. If we look up a little bit further north, we got New Hampshire, Vermont, Massachusetts, Maine. Maine does have some chert deposits. They're not on this video, on the shot, because they're not on the map, but I personally know that in the northwestern part of Maine, there is some chert on the border. And then around, you can see Ottawa and those kind of areas. It's kind of in Watertown, there's some chert as well. Ohio is a little island where there's a ton of chert deposits just right through the middle. You can find chert in a lot of places in Ohio. It is great quality chert too. Missouri is drowning in chert. They are so full of chert, they have chert to give. And you can see that kind of bleeds into a lot of other nearby states as well. This whole area is just good for chert. Oklahoma, right down a nice strip down the middle of Oklahoma, you can see that there's a lot of chert right through Norman, Stillwater, and probably a lot of the surrounding areas that have streams that connect to this formation. You'll probably be able to find good chert. New Mexico and Arizona and the Rocky Mountains and those kind of areas, you can find that really any mountains are going to have some pretty good chert. I've personally collected chert up near the mountains north of Albuquerque and Jemez Springs, and a lot of that chert is going to be Carboniferous or Permian in age. Nevada, same deal. You're going to have a lot of chert in the mountains, not too much in the middle of the valleys and the sand kind of areas. You're going to find more up in the alpine areas, but you may find it if you are next to a stream that connects to a mountain that has a source or it was brought in by people. Same with Utah, trying to check in the mountains. Washington, Portland, Oregon, Washington, Seattle, those kind of areas, especially Idaho specifically, you're all pretty much a dead zone. If you go really far north of Washington, you'll probably be able to find some deposits of some cherts. I've heard about cherts over by the Chuckanut Formation in the north, but I have personally been up there and not seen it. As far as Oregon, you may as well go to the Glass Buttes, and same with Idaho. Montana has quite a bit of different types of cherts because it has a lot of Cretaceous lithologies and has a lot of different localities, that are Cretaceous and Carboniferous, and you have a lot of different areas where limestone is formed in Montana, which usually chert and flint form with it. I know that there's a ton of chert over by Whitehall, Montana, next to the Lewis and Clark limestone caves, and that's because that Madison Formation where it is produces a ton of chert. Same with Helena. There's a lot of chert on the west side of Helena, so you'll be able to find chert kind of all over this state. As long as you're not too far west, I think Missoula, though there's pink on that map, I don't really think that Missoula has too much chert by it. You may have to go to other places. Iowa, you can see on this map that the border is shows that it just abruptly ends, and that's not the case. It just means that the states around Iowa have not done as detailed surveys as Iowa has done on its chert. So these probably go into these other states, but I can't say for certainty because the evidence is inconclusive. But it's likely if you search around these areas, you'll likely find chert. Michigan has different specific lifelines of chert flowing through it. It looks like that's probably like a river. It looks like it ends in Flint, which is ironic. So that should be the majority of the map. I'm unable to give you everything because some states do not have up-to-date surveys or just show blank information, but if that helped anybody in any of those states, then that's a win for me. So thank you for watching.